Alright, here we are. Welcome back to Wolfgame Music and Video. I'm everyone's least favorite fire rabbit, Brian Francis. And to my right,
favorite tiger, Jessica.
The great and majestic, powerful tiger.
Yeah, I didn't start going to see concerts until probably like after college when I actually had a choice to like choose who I wanted to see.
Right.
But kind of the same thing. I grew up like with my parents driving me along to like a lot of live music shows. I couldn't remember anybody that we saw. Yeah. And like Christian shows and stuff. So.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I had exposure to it, but I didn't really start enjoying concerts till I was like in my 20s.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I was close to 20, but the first like actual official like big time concert that I went to.
Oh yeah.
And if you're watching this, if you are unfamiliar with us, which is probably no one, the only person watching this is probably Steve and Anthony. Or Katie, so God bless you.
They know us.
But to all 0 of our fans out there, we currently live in the Pacific Northwest. So the first concert I went to was at the Crystal Ballroom in Portland.
Wow.
And it was the Dandy Warhols.
That's so cool.
And Brian Jonestown Massacre were opening up. And to me, it's like sometimes there's this weird thing with bands where it's like, oh, this was the pinnacle point of their career, but it's like, does it feel like that because it's your pinnacle interest in them?
Right.
Or was it really? Because in 2005, there was a documentary called Dig that came out, or maybe it came out in 2004, about, Brian Jonestown Massacre and Dandy Warhols. And so this was like about a year after. This is when I was like 18, about to be 19.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I mean, this was like as soon as I saw the Dandies come on stage, like that was like one of the first times I ever dealt with being super starstruck.
That's so cool. It's such a weird experience. It really is.
Yeah, and it's just like they're just there in the flesh.
It's like they're celebrities, all like pretty much.
Yeah, because like until that point, I'd been obsessively listening to them for like. Well, actually, come to think of it, not even that long. Maybe like 6 months. But I mean, it was just.
Wow.
Every single day, like I would hang out with my friends and we would just listen to the Dandy Warhols on repeat.
So cool.
And like one of the things that blew me away about the show too, because I had just started playing drums around that time, and the drummer of the Brian Jonestown Massacre was just, oh my God, light years better than the Dandy's drummer. I mean, just different styles, like. The Dandy Warhols drummer, he's good too, but I just thought, like, I still remember that to this day. Like,
that's so
probably the most out of that entire concert was the drummer.
You're like starstruck. That's cool.
But what was your first like?
I mean, I can't even remember who. I know it was like little like concerts here and there. But the one that I can remember the most, and I think I have the exact date on, would be in 2002. Would have been through a youth group with our church, and we saw Skillet, and it was the coolest thing because it was like this kind of rock band. So it was kind of like, wow, they're cool, they're different, they're edgy. And we were actually able to meet him, so I met I don't even know if their lead singer's called, but him and his wife, because she's a drummer, and it was really cool. And I saw the picture, I gotta go find it somewhere, but it's cool because then just a couple years ago, me and my friend Emily went and saw them again in Portland, so
where?
They're still at the Crystal Ballroom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't remember who they're touring with, but it was really cool because I was like, I saw them. So 2006, I would have been like 15. 14, or 2002, I would have been like 14, 15, so
right.
That was probably my first one that I really truly remember and had like the most amazing experience. It was cool. It was cool to be in that environment.
Well, it's pretty cool that you got to see them at two different levels.
Yes,
like a
exactly.
small place where you can meet them and just kind of mingle around, and then like Crystal Ballroom where there's there's like the cross with like the backstage.
Right, and I don't think I knew any of their songs really, probably not any back then. I think everything was probably first exposure, so that's probably why it was more like, wow, I like this.
Right, yeah, or like maybe even before they put out their first album. Because I swear I've heard that name.
Oh yeah, they're a Christian band, but they're also mainstream, so it's kind of goes both ways. Yeah, they've been around for 10 plus years, so it's crazy. And then just from there, it seems like the only ones I really ever saw were like ones I chose in college that I was kind of like inklings with, because 94.7 had the December to Remember, so they brought a lot of indie bands through.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The tickets were pretty cheap, and so I saw a lot of bands I heard on their radio station live, like Mister, Alt J, Glass Animals. So I almost saw Portugal the Man, but I didn't get to go to him. But yeah, it was fun. So a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, when it comes to seeing live concerts, some of the better performances I've seen or like experiences I've had have been at like smaller venues, like particularly like Dante's in Portland.
Oh, Dante!
Which actually the Dandy Warhols filmed their Godless music video there.
That's cool.
But there was this artist from, I think he's from New Zealand, and I mean, I was just absolutely fucking obsessed with him. Willie Moon, look him up on Spotify or YouTube. He has one album, that's all he ever put out.
Oh my gosh, wow.
He toured with Jack White like in 2012, you know.
Wow, that's really cool.
Like on the European leg of his tour, but like, yeah, this album, I was just so obsessed with it. Like, I would listen to it every day. Like, I was going to school at the time, so I would listen to it when like doing homework or like writing papers. And so, yeah, Willie Moon was playing at Dante's one night when I like lived in Portland for a short time.
Oh my gosh.
And what's funny about it is, like, in my head, he was like, you know, like Jimmy Page or something, or like Robert Plant. Just like, he was so famous in my mind because I just loved him so much.
That's so funny.
And so I remember I literally quit a job to go see him because I wanted to see him that bad. I mean, I was getting unemployment at the time and I had financial aid, so I was like, you know what, this job fucking sucks. So I was literally riding my bike to work, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna go see Willie Moon.
No way, that's so funny. You have to, though.
And so in my head, I'm like, I'm taking the bus to go see him because at the time I didn't have a car. And so in my mind, I'm like, oh God, there's going to be like a block down the sidewalk. I'm not going to be able to get a ticket to get in. I show up there, and it's kind of like what you were saying with Skillet. Like, you know, you were able to meet them and everything. It's like there was no one there.
That's so
because I've been watching videos of Willie Moon. Like, there was like where he plays at this venue called like Shuba's in Chicago, and it's pretty packed, you know?
Wow.
Small place, but packed. I get there was like maybe 20 people, like if that. And I don't even think people were really there to see Willie Moon. I think I was the only person that like
#1 fan. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Did you get to like talk to him or anything?
That was the thing, because I knew the sound guy that worked there.
Dude, that's awesome.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, so Willie Moon is here in the building downstairs. He's like, yeah, he's downstairs. I have a mustache and I'm really boring.
That's awesome.
And so I just went downstairs and I was like, holy shit, it's fucking Willie Moon, and he's sitting right there.
Oh my
and so I just was like, brought up, you know, like, oh, I love your album, like my name's Brian, you know, blah blah blah. And I was like, anyways, he's like, oh no, go ahead and sit down, man. And like, so he like invited me to sit down, and like we just like hung out for a short time.
That's so cool.
And I was like, I've been listening to your album so much. Your album helped me finish my homework. Blah blah blah.
I love that. That's so cool.
And man, not only was he fucking cool, but that is like, he put every ounce of passion and energy into this live show.
That's awesome.
Like, it was just, I've never seen anything like it. And it's just, it was a 3-piece band. I mean, he had like a sampler going, but he was playing guitar, which I had never seen. And he had this girl drummer, swing. And then a girl, I think she was a bass player. Yeah, I think she played bass. Cool. Yeah, she was pretty hot too, but man, Willie Moon, oh my God. Like, I just...
got a boner for him.
Oh God, I would have sucked him off right then and there. Just
That's
kidding.
So funny. No, so one concert I saw at Dante's was Meg Myers, and I really love her music, and I had just heard her song randomly on like 103.7 going to work, and I was like, this song is so cool, and I was like obsessed with her. Steve didn't really know who she was, and I had a chance to go see her before with my friend Layla, but then we saw her second time at Dante's, and it was like, the environment there is just so I don't know how to explain it. It's so like dark, but like
dismal.
Yes, it was very
but, like classy.
grungy.
It kind of reminds me of Eyes Wide Shut.
So cool. It was very cool, and it was packed. Like, she did such a good job. But yours, like, it was packed, but it was close, like an intimate setting enough where you could be up to her. So I got some great photos, and like, it was just really, really cool to be like right there with her, like in the face. It was in Portland, so it was fun to go around and pregame and stuff like that.
Meg Myers, see, that's another, it's like,
I love her so much. Her new song is shit, but she's got 2 really good albums, so she's really, like you said, very passionate. Like, the first time I saw her, like, she's almost scary when she sings, because it's so intense.
Wow.
Like, it's like, she could just see in her eyes, it's like, damn. And she sounds a little like she could be from the 90s, but she's good.
90s in the degree, like Alanis Morissette style?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like that grunge female rock I like.
Where she can like go soft, but then like really belt it out.
Exactly, 100%. Yep. So that was fun. Gosh, I've been to a lot of venues. I mean, Crystal, the Wonder Ballroom.
Wonder Ballroom's pretty cool because that's a venue where you're more likely to meet the band if you try, if you wait.
It's so true. Mm-hmm. Yep. We saw a band named the Mowgli's there, Steve and I, and it was fun.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. That was when you guys were first together.
Yeah, they were around, like pretty popular on the radio. Like they had like a song on the on TV commercial, but then they kind of disappeared. But yeah, it was cool. We got to go meet them and they got to sign some of our stuff. But it is funny how it's like you find those like one artist, like indie artist, that like has one big album that you love, and then they just go away. You're like, no.
Right.
Never
Yeah.
happened.
That kind of happened with another cool, like small, intimate venue in Portland, Doug Furland, which is one of my.
Yes. Okay.
I saw a band, the Ruby Sons. There, one of their songs is actually featured on Grand Theft Auto 5.
That's cool.
I think it's called like Real Life.
Huh.
But yeah, that was a band that I remember. I think my older brother had one of their albums. And I remember listening to it a little bit off and on, like back in the day. But then when they put out their 2013 album, I became just completely obsessed with them. And it's like, and then I just kind of weird. It's like I lost interest. And like I just felt like their music after that wasn't as good.
It changes, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there before, and I like the Doug fir because of the like obviously like the wood.
Right.
Like,
yeah. It's kind of got style like a log cabin sort of.
It's almost like you are in like a really cool someone's basement or something.
Yeah, definitely. And that's like what's cool about that venue, like very much like Dante. It's like it's where like touring bands play that are like at that stage of in their career where it's like they're not quite popular, but it's like they're you know, because it's like sometimes they sell out.
They're like on that cusp, exactly.
Yeah.
Of like
because like Ellie Goulding, I know, did a show at the
Wow, really?
But then like 3 months later, she was selling at the Crystal Ball.
Whoa, that's wild.
And I mean, like even back in the day, I think it was there used to be a small venue called For Bodies Pen, and it's like the White Stripes played there in like 2001.
Holy shit.
But then 3 months later, Crystal Ballroom.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Same with like the Killers.
Wow. Oh, the Killers were cool to see.
Yeah.
What was like the biggest concert you've ever seen? Like, the biggest venue that was crazy big?
The biggest venue I've ever been to was definitely the Moda Center. I saw Muse there in 2013.
See,
that was what was great about that show is that that's right, you were at that show.
But yeah, no, I did see Muse. I love the Band of Skulls. I remember that. I forgot about
that was so great because it's like I had been listening to Band of Skulls so much.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, like in 2013, I mean, I was, the Muse connoisseur.
Yeah. And that was, that's like the height. I don't listen to Muse anymore.
Yeah, I lost interest too, but at the time when I saw them, I thought it was really amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's a cool, yeah, they're special.
I was actually surprised how good, like, the band sounded in like an arena.
Yes, exactly. You have to, like, you do have to be big. You have to kind of, I don't know, it's a lot to it.
I thought it was a great show, but it's like, I was just disappointed they didn't play Plug-In Baby. I was hoping they would have played that, but they did play Sunburn off their first album, which is kind of rare.
I hate that. I hate that. I've had that before. We went and saw, what's the other band? I keep spacing. Seether. It was Seether out of the Tom Ford Riverfront, the one in Portland. They just had like a makeshift, like.
Oh, right.
Yeah, whatever. It's like right downtown.
But they didn't play your favorite
Seether,
song.
yeah, and they were so, like, I feel like he was hungover the whole time, and he did not play our favorite song, and we were so disappointed because it was a popular song.
That's kind of how I felt when I saw Muse. I don't know if it was just because I was getting over the flu, but they seemed like they were just kind of going through the motions a little bit.
That's how I felt. Like I felt like they didn't care about their audience and their fans, which you could tell.
Yeah, but Band of Skulls, when they opened, I thought they like gave it their all. They were amazing.
I need to go back and revisit Band of Skulls. That's so funny.
What's your favorite venue that you've been to that you can think of?
To it. I mean, I have not seen a concert, but I want to go to see Edgefield because I like how it's outdoors.
Edgefield.
The vibe would be cool. I haven't actually seen one there. I guess if I had to pick one, I would probably go back to the Wonder Ballroom. That one probably is because it's just so intimate there.
The good thing about a place like Wonder Ballroom too is you can like leave if you want to like go.
And they have like a little
wander back in.
I think they have like a little like eatery place, like a bar and grill right nearby or underneath or something.
Oh no, they do underneath.
They have that. I think I remember that. The one bar or the one venue that I hated though was when I saw AFI. Wasn't Revolution Hall? What's the other one that starts with an R?
There's Roseland Theater.
Yes, the Roseland.
That's funny. I was gonna say that's also my least favorite venue because it's like they have like way too much security.
That's a bad part of Portland.
And I feel like the sound in there's kind of shitty.
It was so shitty. It was so. We saw AFI and I was so disappointed that it just didn't feel like this is a big band. Why are they? It just didn't feel right. Like the sound didn't sound right. The vibes were off. I'm a little scared. There was so much security. Like they go through all your shit.
Right. Yeah, that's like the most annoying part. And like you just kind of feel trapped.
Which I get because you don't want that to happen. But it was kind of a shitty part of Portland. But yeah, I didn't like the vibes there. It just wasn't comfortable.
Yeah.
And it was standing room only. I think they had a balcony that had
They have the
seats.
balcony there.
But yeah, we were standing, which is fine, but it's just like, meh, it felt a little claustrophobic in there. It was dirty.
I know, being a little bit older now, I definitely appreciate more of the sitting.
Me too, I was gonna say the same
Like,
thing. If you're there for 4 or 5 hours.
Revolution Hall, like I saw Ariel Pink there like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and I remember, yeah, definitely, you know, using the chairs like at some points, because sometimes, you know, you just get kind of tired standing, and they played for like 2.5 fucking hours, and it's like, yeah, music's super boring.
I hate it when you like, I remember like first going to concerts, I'm like, I want to see this band, and it's like, you have like 2 or 3 opening bands you didn't expect.
That's the worst.
And then it takes like 40 minutes for them to set up for the big man. I'm like, this sucks. I just want to get to the main event.
Have you ever gone to see a band where you thought the opener was like better or just as good, or like one of the openers blew you away?
I mean, that was probably, I was very impressed when I saw Halsey, because she had just become big, and I was really impressed with her sound. And I also didn't expect, I think it was Imagine Dragons Metric. And I forgot how much I liked Metric, because there were a couple of songs that were out before, and I was like, oh my gosh, she sang so good live. So I actually kind of like, I like Imagine Dragons, but I really liked Halsey and
I didn't even know you
together.
saw Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, it was like, it was probably like, because I saw it in Portland, probably like 2015.
But yeah, some of the bands that I've seen where the opener was better or just as good, I remember. This might be, I don't know, I mean, like, there's a few, it's funny, the 2, like, best concert experiences I've ever had was definitely when I saw Foster. I've seen Foster the People on, like, 4 different occasions.
I love them. I was obsessed with their album.
But, like, when I saw them in 2012 in Seattle at the WAMU Theater, first of all, that venue's like 8,000 maximum capacity, but somehow it feels bigger than, like, Moda Center. I think just because of the layout.
Wow.
But anyways, the 2 bands that opened up were both fucking just
really
killer, like just insane. I mean, like Kimbra was the first one to go up.
Kimbra.
Yeah. Which that was like the height of the whole like somebody we used to know by Godier, somebody that I used to know. And then Mayor Hawthorne played after Kimbra, and that's how I found out about Mayor Hawthorne, and I'm still a fan to this day.
I've heard of that. I know that.
And I mean, yeah, he fucking killed it. I think he played a little too long. It's like, you're not the headliner.
I gotta get the name out there. That's like, it's always different when like, there's a time where, I don't know, for me, I have this rule, if I like a band a lot, I have to question, is it going to be worth it seeing it live? Because I need to know like good 2 or 3 songs, obviously, because that's going to get you there. But sometimes it's like, okay, I like Adele's music, but I would never pay to see her. She'd be so boring live. I'm sorry. She would be. But she has a good singer. Like, she's talented. I like some of her songs. Not all of them.
I would go see her, but only if someone bought me my ticket and someone was the driver and someone paid for me to stay in the hotel.
Have a bunch of wine,
yeah.
Like, there's some times it's like,
I would definitely
want to see him
that's
live.
for sure.
That's true. She's also a millionaire. Oh, it's so funny. But what about, you were going to say, like...
Oh, wait, I was going to say another band that I saw that opened up for, like, a headliner that I thought was, you know, better or just as good. I saw Modest Mouse at the Crystal Ballroom in, like, 2009, and shout out to my friend Bree Judy if you ever watched this. But the band that opened up for Modest Mouse was amazing. They fucking killed it.
That was, like, right outside my high school.
And that was, like, you know, at the height of like my love for them. I could give 2 shits about Modest Mouse now. Fuck them.
I don't like them.
But Morning Teleportation opened up, and you know, rest in peace to the lead singer of that band. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. But they just blew my fucking mind away. Like their song, like just everyone in the band seemed like the headliner, or the lead person in that band, because they just all seemed so into it. And it was just
that's so badass.
I was just kind of like, is this actually happening? Like, how is this band so good?
Yeah,
like, I just couldn't believe it. I felt like such a disgrace as a musician after seeing it.
You're like, I could do better. I could do better. No, wait, there's been quite a few like I've seen multiple times. I think like the most crazy, like wild, if I was on any type of drug, it'd be on this band. Was D Antwoord. It's spelled Die Antwoord, but they're the South African rap band. I've seen them twice, Steve and I in Eugene. It is the most insane show because it's rap and they're just wild. They pass around like inflatable dildos and Caspers and like people are on all sorts of drugs, but it's just, and we've gone there drunk numerous times, but it's always outdoors, so you can just run around and be crazy.
Was that the
people wear
onesies? Theater?
Or
wait, no, you said Eugene.
It's Cuthbert or whatever.
I was thinking of it.
So, I saw Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
they
right.
went through there. It was, and I love them, and I love their music, but no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was Death Cab for Cutie, but they're very slow and indie, and like kind of sleepy, so it wasn't the best live. What about concerts you've missed out on?
Oh god, there's been a few. I remember I wanted to go see Tom Petty back in. I think it was there was actually a few bands. This was like 2014. I remember Tom Petty was playing at Edgefield. And in my defense, I was gonna buy a ticket, but then when I clicked on it, it was sold out.
Dang, so you tried.
And then Steely Dan, I thought about seeing them in like 2014, and I thought to myself, well, they'll play again. But then like one of the original members unfortunately passed away a couple years.
I think my biggest one, and I was trying to look this up because I can't remember the exact year. It had to, because I graduated college in 2008, so it must have been like 2009, 2010. And we were up there, and I saw they had 30 Seconds to Mars playing at one of the bands outside of downtown Seattle. I don't know the venue. I want to say
was it Paramount Theater?
Is there something called the Neptune? I feel like it was Neptune. Or
yes, yeah.
I feel like
that's like a smaller place.
Maybe it wasn't that then, but it was
Showbox.
Maybe it was Showbox. But and 30 Seconds to Mars, they've been around for a bit, but that was like their height. I was like, like we could stay, we could go. I wish I would have gone. Because
now they play.
They don't play. They play at huge arenas. They don't tour much. Like Jared Leto's doing his own thing with acting. So I missed out on. I was so pissed that we had a chance and I hesitated and we didn't follow through with it. So I'm so stupid.
Yeah, 30 Seconds to Mars, that's one of those bands that I definitely gave them a chance, but like one of the only songs that I came across that I really love is Walk on Water. It came out in like 2017. Yeah. That's a fucking good song. And like I was gonna ask you like what are like some live bands that you've seen, like big bands where you're like, oh god, they suck live. Like I saw Jack White live in 2019 and like it was good, like it was really cool because like
that's because she wasn't there.
Because it was nice to see him play like a lot of like White Stripes songs with like a full band and everything. But the Memorial Coliseum in Portland is not the best music venue, so it's like sometimes it just kind of sounded weird.
That does.
But the band had great energy, and you could tell they were.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, like really, the venue does make a difference. Because you don't want obviously intimate would be small, would be cool, but you don't want it to be too big where it just doesn't sound right.
Right, yeah, that's the thing, because it's like Memorial Coliseum is smaller than the Moda Center, but the Moda Center, I feel like it's just better designed for live shows.
That makes sense.
They put more work into it.
Yeah, it's probably his design better.
Yeah, I saw this band called Poolside at the Wonder Ballroom.
Oh, yeah.
And this was one of the experiences where literally the opener was better. Neil Francis, check out Neil Francis on Spotify, and that's Francis, Frances. His music is not only amazing, but like his band was just...
That's crazy.
They were just more on point. You could just tell they were like, I don't know, like used to playing live more. Like Poolside, it's just one of those bands where they're just more meant for the studio. I just felt like when they would sing,
weren't good for live.
I mean, they might have just had an off night, like a band can't get it out of the park every night and listen to Led Zeppelin. That's a band that I was going to say,
have you seen any like iconic classic bands like that? Like besides Muse, I guess.
I guess Jack White.
Jack White would be cool.
Yeah,
same. I would say probably Imagine Dragons was the biggest band I've ever seen.
Foster the People,
Foster the People too, yeah. Okay. But I've never done like those Vegas shows, like Celine Dion.
I saw Eric Burdon and the Animals at the State Fair. He was like, I mean, he's still in his 70s, but I think at this time he was like 70, 71.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he was still able to belt it out and perform amazingly.
That's cool. That's amazing. It's gotta be hard. You kind of get tired playing performing.
And he had like the original members of the band too.
What?
Most of them, yeah,
That's
like the original like keyboard player.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's really neat.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in, watching. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We're gonna be trying to do more music episodes for sure in the future, particularly like I said, like favorite film soundtracks. I think would be a great one.
That'd be good. Be good.
All right.
Alrighty.
Until next time.